In life, there's things we control. But does that mean that in life there's things that we don't? G'day, and welcome to Small Steps Through Life. Today, we're at Battle Hill, and I'm looking at the idea of the things we don't control in life. What do we do with them? For me, I look at the idea of I don't control the laws. I don't control other people. So, what does that mean to me? For me, one of the things I look at is the idea that our laws are not optimal. I don't think they're well tuned, and I don't think they give the outcome that we have come to expect. They don't look after everybody equally. I look at the idea of laws for the likes of speeding. In New Zealand, there's a very tight tolerance on speeding, to the point that a lot of people spend a lot of time looking at the speedo. They shouldn't need to. They shouldn't, because it's distracting from the road. But it is the way that New Zealand has tried to lower the road toll. And it quite possibly has lowered it. So that's been done to reduce the risk to people that are driving. And that makes perfectly good sense. I don't fully agree with it in terms of the tolerance, but I do get the idea of reducing risk to others. And then I look at things like the inter-islander ferries. They are run by a couple of companies, but lately they've been breaking down a lot. And between the two islands, North Island and South Island, is Cook Strait. It's a wild piece of water. It's not somewhere you want to be with no power or no rudder control. And yet, that was what keeps happening. It's not every day, but it's happening multiple times a year. And yet, they get to go out again with passengers. So, it's bad for somebody to speed at 4 kilometres above the speed limit because there's a risk to other road drivers. And that makes sense. But it's okay to take out a ferry that might conk out in the middle of Cook Strait. And if it does, then there becomes very real risks. If you can't get a tugboat out in time, what will happen? If you were going out in a ferry and there was a storm or just really bad weather and suddenly a motor stopped, what would you do? Clearly, it's now become a risk, and this is considered to be acceptable. Do I think it's fair? Do I think that this is the same risk mitigation as for driving? And I don't. So I could rant and rail. And I suppose in a sense I am. But I am because partly this shapes my thinking. I look at, am I consistent with what I'm doing? I don't look at whether or not I'm speeding or driving a boat or a ship. What I look at is, am I trying to be consistent with how I deal with other people, with you guys? And the answer is, each time I see something I disagree with, I look at, is there an equivalent in my own life? Am I being fair in how I deal with different people? So for the idea of the legal requirements to take a car on the road versus a ship, if I see that there's a difference there, I might look at myself and say, am I being consistent with myself? Am I making sure that I don't drive tired? Or am I making sure that I'm not tired and recklessly taking podcasts because I'm exhausted? Or it might be how I deal with somebody if they want to talk to me. I might think, am I in a good place to deal with this person? I want to make sure that I learn from every situation. So what do you do? When you see things you don't control, do you find it winds you up? Do you find it doesn't bother you? And if it does wind you up, even if it doesn't bother you, do you find you can use it to refine your own thinking. I want you to ponder that. As I say, see you later.